Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Alexi and this is Soto-Tek. In this video, I'm going to make a comparison between the Pixel 4a and one of Samsung's budget phones belonging to the M series, the Galaxy M51. Both phones were released in August this year. The Pixel 4a cost $349 and the Galaxy M51 $329. I might focus a little bit more on the M51 and combine this comparison with my review of this device, and at the same time I will throw in a couple of rants. Let's start by talking about the screen size and resolution. The Pixel 4a has a 5.8 inches AMOLED screen with a resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels and a PPI density of 443. The Galaxy M51 has a 6.7 inches Super AMOLED screen with a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels and a PPI density of 393. Both screens are really nice and vibrant, and on paper the Pixel 4a should be sharper because of the higher PPI density, but in reality the M51 might actually be slightly sharper, though the Pixel 4a seems to be slightly brighter. Unfortunately, both screens have this silly and unnecessary hole punch. The one on the Pixel 4a is slightly bigger on the left, and on the Galaxy M51 it's located in the center. Dimensions. The Pixel 4a is 144 millimeters tall, 69.4 millimeters wide, and 8.2 millimeters thick. The Galaxy M51 is 163.9 millimeters tall, 76.3 millimeters wide, and 9.5 millimeters thick for the massive battery capacity, which I'll talk about later. Both devices are made of plastic at the back and also the frames all around the phones. In the case of the Pixel 4a with the matte finish here at the back, you can feel it. In the case of the Galaxy M51 with the glossy finish, therefore it is more slippery. Since both are made of plastic, they are actually more durable and resistant to drops, and I am absolutely fine with that. Once again, in my book, having a glass back doesn't make the phone more premium at all. Fortunately, they both come with the headphone jack, which once again, it is a big yes for me. Both have the power buttons and volume keys on the right. They both come with the USB Type-C charging port here at the bottom. The Pixel 4a comes with a stereo sound combining the speaker at the bottom and the earpiece. The Galaxy M51 only has the speaker at the bottom, so no stereo sound. Battery capacity. The Pixel 4a has a non-removable 3140 mAh battery capacity with 18 watts fast charging. The Galaxy M51 has a massive and monstrous non-removable 7000 mAh battery with 25 watts fast charging. None of them have wireless charging, but the Galaxy M51 has reverse charging, and it can even be used as a power bank and charge other devices. Battery life on the Pixel 4a is very good. With heavy moderate usage, it can get you through the day. Now, the Galaxy M51 is a beast in this department, hands down. With heavy usage, it can easily get you through the day. With heavy motor usage, easily 1 day and a half. With motor usage, 2 days and probably more. I'm not kidding. Such a good battery life. I'm so impressed. It's a real monster. It is a real shame that the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra didn't have something like this or close to it. And here comes my first rant. It is very upsetting to see Samsung releasing a budget phone with this massive battery capacity and its best flagship of the year and far more expensive phone, the Note 20 Ultra, with a meager 4500 mAh capacity that barely gets you through the day even if you disable the 120 Hz refresh rate and other features. As I said in my unboxing video of the Galaxy M51, this phone doesn't even feel a lot thicker. It is actually easier to hold than the Note 20 Ultra. In reality, it just feels as thick as the Note 20 Ultra. Check the thickness and overall size and you'll see what I'm talking about, regardless of the space for the S Pen and the camera sensors. Actually, it doesn't even feel noticeably thicker than the Note 10 Lite, which is unbelievable. So, how come Samsung? I love Samsung, but I can give it a pass on this one, when it is so obvious that it wasn't impossible to provide the Note 20 Ultra with a bigger battery, and the Galaxy M51 is the proof. IP certification. None of them are water and dust resistant, so again, keep them away from liquids just in case. OS updates. The Pixel 4a is on Android 11 and the Galaxy M51 is on Android 10 with Samsung One UI 2.1. Now, while the Pixel 4a will have 3 years of OS updates guaranteed, the M51 belongs to Samsung's cheaper series, so I really doubt Samsung will give this phone even 2 years of OS updates. Probably just one, hopefully. So it will probably get Android 11, but very likely 6-7 months after its official release. I hope I'm wrong, but keep that in mind. However, I think that Android 10 is so polished that together with Samsung's One UI 2.1, the average consumer will be good to go for the next 2-3 years. I would be more concerned about the monthly security patches, to be honest. Storage. The Pixel 4a comes with 128 GB of internal memory and 6 GB of RAM. No micro SD card slot, unfortunately. The Galaxy M51 comes with 128 GB of internal memory and 6 or 8 GB of RAM, depending on the market. It has micro SD card slot to expand the internal memory to up to 512 GB. Okay, let's now talk about the processor. They both come with the Snapdragon 730G. For day-to-day usage, in terms of using normal apps like messaging, emailing, phone calls, normal games, they perform well. However, I recently had a crash on the Pixel 4a when playing Temple Run 2. It refused to load completely, and the only solution was to uninstall it and then install it again. I haven't had any issues again ever since though. With the M51, I've had a couple of starters also playing Temple Run 2, but to be honest, it is kind of expected. The Snapdragon 730G has been optimized from the 730 for games to run better, but this is a mid-range chip any way you look at it. These are not phones to play intense high graphic games all the time. You can, but don't expect them to be starters or overheating free. Unlocking methods. The Pixel 4a has only two unlocking methods and it is a little bit weird it doesn't come with face unlock. So it has the PIN number and the capacitive fingerprint reader at the back, which is very fast and reliable. The Galaxy M51 has several unlocking methods. It has the 2D face unlock, the PIN number, the password, the pattern, and fortunately the capacity fingerprint reader here on the power button. Best place ever and where it should be. The in-display fingerprint reader should disappear, and this should be the option for all phones. As I have said many times before, it is far more practical and convenient and cheaper to implement. You can unlock your phone in any position with far less hassle. If it is on the table, just register the index fingerprint and boom, done. Now, if you are left-handed, as I said before, also register this index finger or even this one, the middle finger. Not working better now because I only registered once, but you get the point. You can unlock the phone in your pocket before you even take it out. Not a big deal, but it adds to the convenience. The more I use it, the more I like it and prefer it on the power button. Mobile payments. The Google Pixel 4a comes with Google Pay. Unfortunately, the M51 doesn't come with Samsung Pay like some phones in the A series and Samsung's flagships. Last but not the least, the cameras. But for more info and the camera capabilities of both phones, check out my full camera comparison. You can see the link at the end of this video or in the description down below. The Pixel 4a has only one 12.2 megapixel main lens with optical image stabilization. You can record videos at 4K 30 frames per second and at 1080p 30 and 60 frames per second. The front-facing camera is an 8 megapixel lens. You can only record videos at 1080p 30 frames per second. The Galaxy M51 has a 64 main lens, but by default is a 12 megapixel lens, which I preferred. It doesn't have optical image stabilization. The second lens is a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle, the third lens is a 5 megapixel micro lens, and the fourth one is a 5 megapixel depth sensor for allegedly better portrait mode. The front facing camera is a 32 megapixel lens, and also you can record in 4K and 1080p 30 frames per second. Both phones have very good cameras, especially for the price. I'm particularly impressed with the cameras on the M51, especially if we take into account that none of the lenses has optical image stabilizations. The pictures have very good dynamic range and are sharp. I honestly didn't expect it to be this good. Go and check my full camera comparison and pick your winner. I must say, this phone has been a pleasant surprise for me. The amazing battery life, the placement of the fingerprint reader on the power button, which I absolutely love, and even the cameras have been the highlights for me and the things I have enjoyed the most. Of course, nothing is perfect, and this phone is not the exception. There are two things that are bugging me about it. One, not being able to install the Good Lock app for better customization and use of the split screen multitasking the way I like, not the way it is implemented on stock Android like this, where I have to stop using one app to then open a multi-window split screen, something I don't find very convenient. It's so much better the way you can do it using the Good Lock app, like I have on my other Samsung phones that support it, where if I'm watching a YouTube video, I don't have to stop it to open and interact with another app splitting the screen. Even the way it was implemented back in the day was better, like for instance here on my Note 5 on Android 7. The same, you don't need to stop one app to interact with another one with a split screen. I have no idea why, if this phone is on Android 10 with Samsung One UI 2.1, you cannot install that app. 2. Another complaint, you can't install Secure Folder either, which I don't understand why. I hope Samsung fixes these two issues in a future update. These are my main two gripes about this phone. If you don't care about them, then you are going to love this cheap phone for sure. Which one to buy? Well, if you prefer a stock Android with guaranteed OS updates for the next 3 years, or you like small compact phones with a very good camera, then the Pixel 4a. Now, if you prefer a big screen phone with a very nice and sharp screen for content consumption, with several unlocking methods for convenience, a 1 day and a half or 2 days battery life monster with a good camera, and you are not too concerned about OS updates, then the M51 might be your pick. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and help me grow as fast as possible. Thanks to all those who have already subscribed. Once again, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get the notifications of future videos. See you in the next one. Hasta la vista.